Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Dell Precision M4800. Alright, so we're not going to be completely taking this apart, but I'm just going to show like the parts that can be kind of more easily removed or replaced or upgraded. Alright, so first thing is the battery. So you slide this tab here. When you slide that over, there's this little notch here. You can lift it up. Alright, the customer replaced the battery. I don't think their battery was actually bad. I found out their charger was bad, so yeah, but anyways, I believe the model is FV993, so that's the model of the battery here. You can check your own battery, make sure it has the same model number because it is an aftermarket one, so I'm not sure what yours will show. Okay, so next thing we gotta do, we gotta upgrade the hard drive to an SSD. There's one screw here. We're using a PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver. After you remove that screw, you can slide this down, and I think we can somehow get this out. Let's see. How do you get this out? I don't know. There's a little notch here and it slides, but it's not doing anything. It looks like the hard drive comes out here. I guess we'll go ahead and pull this out next. So we have two screws here holding this bottom cover in place. So we'll get those screws out. Keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that. In the pattern I remove them. All right, you want to keep them in order because if they're different and you try and put the screw in the wrong place, you can actually damage your computer. So you don't want to risk damaging your computer just because you're being lazy or something. Alright, so anyways, after you remove those two screws, this door actually slides. So it slides up this way, okay? So push it up like that. Once you do that, you can actually lift this door out and it comes out just like that. Very simple. Alright, so there's two slots for RAM here, and there's actually two slots for RAM underneath the keyboard. The RAM just comes out by pulling these two tabs to the side and then it pops out. This is DDR3 RAM. So they put in DDR3 1600 megahertz. It's a 8 gig stick. The original RAM is two 4 gig sticks. So yeah, you can mix and match, and the two 4 gig sticks are also a different speed. Okay, there's two fans here. They're easy to remove. There's two screws on each holding them in, just the corners, and then this connector you kind of wiggle to pull it out. Same with the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. Alright, you also got the wireless card here. If you're going to remove that, you go from the tail of the antennas and you pull it straight up. I'm not going to remove them because sometimes those connectors are fragile and then they're not soldered on well, and then it can actually rip the the connector that's on the wireless card itself, and then that piece gets stuck in the antenna. It doesn't happen very often, but it's happened probably at least once or twice. So I don't like removing components unless I need to. So yeah. Alright, you also have the DC jack charge port connector here. So some of these pieces are somewhat more of a pain than they need to be, but at least, yeah. Right, there's one screw here for the optical disk drive. I'm not 100% sure. I think after you remove that, you can actually slide the drive out. Let's see, so we'll remove the screw, and yeah, you can slide the whole optical disk drive out. And you can actually replace this with another hard drive, a SATA hard drive slot. This is one of the thinner, I think it's like a 7.5 millimeter or whatever the thickness of these are. I don't know what the actual thickness, I think there's a 12 millimeter one, and then I think the other one's like 7 or 9, I don't know, something like that. Alright, anyways, we went over the components in here that I see. There is an mSATA or WWAN port here, so you can put a mSATA SSD, or you can put wide area network card, and then there's a half MCPP, whatever, I don't know what that's for. Alright, let's go ahead and flip this over. Okay, so for the keyboard, it's actually really easy to remove. You have this little plastic frame around it, so you get in there and I just pull up. You can see you want to be careful because it's goes all the way around and you don't want to break it off. Okay, so I'm kind of pushing the piece in towards the center as I'm kind of lifting, so I'm basically rotating the part so that the middle is going up and then the back is going down, and then I'm also pulling it towards the center slightly. Okay, so we're going all the way around just like this. Okay, let me just pull that up. Same thing. Wow, that part's kind of stuck there. There we go. Okay. And here you go. There's the frame. They have something rolling around here. I'm not sure what it is, but it sounds like it's back in the hinge. and I don't want to try and pop stuff out and then end up breaking it more. The customer actually, they had an issue turning on the computer, and I found out that they bent a pin from the power button connector, and I had to get that out. All right, there's 3 screws here holding the keyboard down, so we're going to remove these 3 screws, okay? One on either side of the touchpad, and then this one over here. Okay, once you remove all those screws, we're going to go ahead and pull the keyboard up. Okay, so go from the center. Be very careful because there is a connector underneath. Make sure that you are lifting underneath the keyboard itself, not just the keys. You want to get the whole thing. And we're basically going to flex it this way, okay? So that way it pulls the clips in from the sides, just like that. And same thing over here. All right, now we got to be very careful. I don't know if I'll be able to show this part. Yeah, probably not. But basically, I'm going to pull this out and then I'll show you. So there's not much room here, so I'm going to have to kind of reach in there, grab it to disconnect it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the cable. This is how the keyboard connects to the whole motherboard. You can see it has the keyboard cable and then the backlight connectors here. So this is for the, what do you call that little, whatever this little nub thing is, and then this is for the backlight, and it all connects to the motherboard with this one cable. All right, and when you go to plug this in, make sure you can see this, that the cable, the part with the metal pins, they actually go towards this side, and then the blue tab goes towards the outer, this fan. Okay, so this has a little sliding mechanism, so it goes in and out. So basically you have to pull it up, then get the cable in, and then you can push it back down to lock it in place. And obviously when it's locked in place, to get it out, you have to pull this up to get it out. This is the power button connector cable here. It has like little wings you just grab, and you kind of have to wiggle and pull that cable up. Again, there's 2 slots for RAM here on the inside, and this is 4 gig PC3L 12800S. All right, so yeah, they're different speeds. All right, pretty sure this is the touchpad. You got this little cable here going up, most likely for these buttons, and then you have this ribbon cable here. Actually, the ribbon cable might be for those buttons. So this small cable is actually, it says speaker, it's labeled. So I'm assuming this is touchpad, and then this goes to these buttons here. All right, I'm not taking all of that out, though most likely if you are, you have to take all these screws out. There's a lot of screws here. Also, the touchpad has another screw here that's holding these buttons in as well. So keep that in mind. All right, what else did I need to show? Oh, I do need to get the hard drive out. Again, I'm not sure how to get that thing out, because we already slid this down. The hard drive is here, it shows. But, what? Normally I thought it would like unlatch itself. I guess in here, I see a little gray thing. Let's see if I can somehow pop that out. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna slide this. It looks like this latch gets in the way of that, so maybe I can push that. No? Huh. Is there some secret? Does sliding this do anything? No? Is there a secret to get this hard drive out? Can I somehow get this out with my fingernail? No? There has to be a somewhat simple way to get this out, because why else would they have this lock? Okay, I mean, that thing slides and it unlocks itself, but how do we get the hard drive out? Let me set that aside. Let's see, do we have access from here? Okay, maybe from here we can push on it. I see this piece. I'm assuming this latches to the hard drive area, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going to try and keep this latch pulled down, and I'm going to see if I use a screwdriver here to help kind of push this thing over. No, doesn't seem to want to move at all. I don't think is that the hard drive? K for keyboard, P for palm rest, additional screws connects under the bottom. That's really weird. I would assume this hard drive comes out relatively easy just from this, because why else would they have this thing here? I might have to look into this one because I don't want to break it. Give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. So what's going on is, you see these, there are H's there, so these are for the hard drive. I don't know why I missed that. I guess because I assumed on previous models you could just slide this and it just pops out automatically. So this redesign, they now have screws holding it in place. Okay, and hopefully once we get all these out, then we can pop it out. Okay, so now we got all those screws out. It's still not. Okay, we're still gonna have to get in there and pull it out. Okay, so there's a spring in there that, oh, there you go, now it worked. Okay, so as you can see, those screws were the only things kind of stopping it, so we did have to get those screws out. I was like trying to pull on it, I'm like, it's not coming out. Alright, anyways, this thing, it looks like there's no screws holding this in place, so we just gotta pop the hard drive out. So let's see, can we push from the bottom here? There's a hole here. You don't want to put too much force on there and then end up damaging the hard drive, so I'm just going to get with my fingernails in this gap, and then you can see I pulled that and it's coming out. So same thing over here, and pull that. Okay. Alright, so it's kind of coming out, not completely. I guess we kind of have to push from the back as well. There we go. And now that we're getting this out, you can kind of get the rest of it. Okay, so we're just gonna have to put the new hard drive or SSD back in that place like that. So let me go grab the SSD and I'll be back. We already cloned it. Alright, so I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go ahead and put the SSD in. We already cloned the hard drive to the SSD, so it should just be plug and play. Just swap this in, okay? Make sure you put it the right way with this little piece facing this clip. Slide that in, locks in. We'll get the 4 screws back into place. Alright, geez, I don't know why they need 5 screws to basically lock this hard drive in place. Normally that latch alone is already enough because it's held in with a screw and then it's covered by that bottom plate, or the battery actually. So yeah, I don't know why they need to secure it so well. Anyways, we got that in. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, let's put the hard drive screw back in, or the hard drive latch screw back in. Just like that. We'll go ahead and get this bottom cover back in as well. So you do have to slide, have it further back and then slide it back down. Okay, make sure that you hold down everything so that all these little clips down here also go in. I think he was prying this. It looks like there's signs of it being pried open. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get this screw in. And then we'll get this screw in as well. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and flip this back over. Alright, open this back up. We're going to get the keyboard in. Make sure this tab or latch is pulled up. And then it helps to kind of go with it more angled this way. You can get the cable in. Again, I can't really show this on camera because of the angle. I have to hold this stuff all together. Okay, so you kind of have to hold that cable in and then tip the whole thing so it's straight up and push that down. Alright, there you go. Then we'll slide this part of the keyboard in, push the outer edges in. If they don't click in, then you can kind of help pull this up a little. Alright, and we'll get the 3 screws back in. This one here, this one here, and then the last one right in this corner. Alright, so there we go. Now we'll go ahead and get this. Get all this in. Alright, and we'll get all this back in. There we go. Now we got all of that. We'll put in the battery and power it up, and we should be good to go. Alright. Also, if you're wondering how to know if your battery or your charger is bad, on boot, press F2. That will go into the BIOS. Okay, so it's powering up. You can see all the lights are coming on. Right, I'm pressing F2. We're going into the setup, and I'll just show you the battery information stuff here. So once we get the BIOS to come up, it's going to take a little while. Okay, just go down to battery information here. and they have this, you can see discharging, it says the battery health, this it's saying excellent. When you plug in an AC adapter, if it's working properly, it'll show the amount of wattage that the charger supplies or is able to supply. If it's broken, then it's gonna say like not detected or something. All right, anyways, that's pretty much it. Oh, if you're having issues booting, depending how it was set up originally, you might have to change it to UEFI. And in this case, for some reason, they have it as legacy. You do have to enable legacy here if your boot is legacy. So if you're having issues with your computer booting, you might want to check that. All right, I'm gonna have to also readjust the date and time because that's screwed up. It's May, I don't even know what the full date is right now. I know 2024. Oops, I only need to push 24, not 2020. 24. Let me check the date real quick. All right, May 14, 2024. And the time is 10:36. Close. 10:36 p.m. All right. So you want to make sure that's right. Also, you want to check the system configuration, SATA operation. In this case, I believe it's AHCI, not RAID. So we're going to switch to that and say yes. I don't know why it defaults to RAID. That's only if there's like or multiple drives in there. Okay. And then depending on your computer, you might have to go into secure boot option as well. And then in there, you might have to turn on secure boot. Since we're using legacy mode, there's no secure boot. So that's disabled. Anyways, I'm going to apply the settings. We're going to exit. And hopefully it's going to boot up just fine now. Okay, it should boot up pretty quick with the bad charger. If your computer's running super slow, it might be because you have a bad charger. So let's see. Yep, it's booting. So we should be good to go. All right, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, please like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living, right? If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.